thank you, Ruth, for your, to quote a famous book of art history, Meditations about the frame. Because I think this is entirely important at the moment, to think about how the display of art that is always said to be a means of knowledge production is set, and to invest in that is of high importance. So that's what we are doing. And this brings me immediately to that, what I'm responsible for. I mean, you already sketched it out. All works of art come with a context that they carry and that they are embedded with. That's, so to say, their frame. And the magazine project of Documenta is trying to deal with these different contexts that the artworks are coming from. Contexts, if you approach artworks via an analysis of the context, sometimes tend to reduce the complexity of the artwork. The art is always about contradictions, turbulence, being unfamiliar, as you once posted, with something, creating that kind of another space. And that's why it is a means of knowledge. Nevertheless, it is created in a distinct environment. And that's what we are doing in the magazine project, is try to find a good way of telling about the surrounding, about, so to say, the locality of things, and bringing these different localities into a conversation, to give the public an idea about this complexity. How do we do that? Well, we use another means that is pretty old and is a frame for artwork as well, as the display of the institution is. That's what you all are engaged in, writing about that, and editing magazines around these themes. And to bring it to a very simple formula, the next publication for Documenta will be written by 80 editorials around the world. Not by one editorial team in Kassel, but by 80 editorial teams around the world. But not in the way that it's usual that we would say, well, could you or you write about this or this artist because of you know him the best? But with a totally different attitude, namely, might we invite you to think with us about certain subjects? And that's what we did. We invited and invite editors around the world to donate a certain section of their magazines to what they think about three big thematic questions around which the exhibition will be figured out. They will be independently of us publish these in their magazines for their publics. So Documenta, so to say, opens its first publication and that is delegated to the editors. So they are totally free to answer these questions. The current artwork is really spectralized. It has a lot of centers. It is no longer just a dialogue between West and West, or a dialogue between West and East. We have to, we have to take into account that there is a network of different dialogues with different kind of intensities that is creating the current artwork. The magazine project is somehow trying to catch that reality. So, but there is a second phase. It's not just that we leave the people and say, do whatever you think, oppose us, make your local response, but we bring them into a dialogue of this response, so to say, of these answers. This is happening virtually in the internet and physically as we invite people from around the globe then to intensify discussions about these subjects. All this, the texts, the imagery, the talks and the discussions that are produced in this process are the basis of the textbook for Next Documenta. just in the discussion that we had at the think tank, which I thought was a very, very good, it was not an event, it was something like a very good situation of working together. There was our colleagues from Japan saying, well, it will be always like the same. We are not translated into English, that's why a lot of the practices that we are having here are not acknowledged. The magazine project is creating that kind of translocal database of things that are getting on display out of local positions and are interlinked on a horizontal way, not always having to go the detour via one of the canonizing applications. So in the end, we are preparing publications around these three themes that are written in that way and try to not just mirror, but really make that a work space for 80 editorials around the world and mirror so this complexity of the current. And the first of this publication is already coming out in December. And the second in February, and the third in May, just a month before Documenta opens, so that everybody has the ability to prepare already before Documenta on that what is going on. So that's the project that I'm engaged in. There is a presentation of these three questions that I talked about, the three leitmotifs. At the homepage of Documenta, you can go into that, and there is a technical description for all of those whom the, so to say, process is not clear about the process of the magazine project on the homepage as well. We try even to provide that in Japanese at the point. So there is a Japanese translation of the three leitmotifs currently done. We can provide you if you send us an email. Thank you for listening so long to us.